Hello everybody, welcome back. Raam Anand here. When it comes to high performance or super achievement in your work, time management is one such thing that can help you organize your tasks and accomplish more in less time, more tasks in less time. And something known as, I'm going to tell you a story today. There was this little boy here who wanted to have some nuts inside a glass jar. So this was a glass jar here. Inside the glass jar there were delicious nuts inside, cashew nuts for example. So what the boy did was he put his hand into the jar and grabbed a bunch of nuts that appeared so delicious to him. He grabbed it, but then he tried to pull his hand out when the mouth of the jar held his wrist back because he had a fist full of nuts. So he was not able to take his hand out because his fist was full. Then he started wailing and crying, and the boy was like, he was in pains. He was not able to take his hand out of the jar. And then a bystander passed by and said, "Look, son, you need to take only half of what you've got. So leave the half of what you've got, and you'll be able to take your hand out from the jar." And the boy did that, and he was happy to have half what he had earlier grabbed on. And the moral of the story is, bite as much as you can chew. Do not bite more than you can chew. And this applies to time management principle, which is I'm going to talk to you or tell you about this today. Is going to be called as the urgent important matrix. This was originally implemented by the former US President Dwight Eisenhower. It's also known as the Eisenhower principle, and that's how the president took care of his tasks and managed his time very well, and he was very well known for that, in fact. And this was actually brought back into focus again by Stephen R Covey in his famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Successful People. Right, the urgent important matrix goes like this. You make a list of all your tasks for the day. Let's say you have 7 tasks in a day. You make a list of all the 7 tasks and plot the tasks according to the matrix here. The first quadrant is urgent and important. You classify all your tasks into all these 4 sections, and the first one is urgent and important, and this includes crisis and problems and deadlines that you will have to meet. You have to do it now. This is something that you have to take care of immediately, and you classify that as urgent and important. And the next section, important but not urgent. These are tasks that you can do it yourself or delegate to someone, or these are something like opportunities and progress reports and long-term vision. These are all very important. Long-term visions for your company, for your progress. These are important, but they are not urgent. You don't have to do these things right away. And the next one is urgent but not important. This is actually a real killer. These tasks actually fill your to-do list every day, and these are responsible for getting less done in more time. The other way around, we are here to find ways to do more things in less time, but these are urgent but important tasks. Urgent but not important tasks, rather. These are the tasks that take away much of our productive time and reduce our productivity, and this is something that super achievers have to pay attention to. For example, this can include maintenance tasks like changing your light bulb, or taking care of the maintenance of your computer equipment or your IT infrastructure equipment. These are important. These are urgent, but these are not important for your personal progress. These are not important for your bottom line, but they are quite important though, because if you don't maintain your equipment, they can hurt your productivity later on, or they can create a lot of problems that will become urgent and important before they come here, which you will have to take care. You can get this handled by someone else. I am also going to tell you about the 3 Ds you can do in order to do more things. These are some of the super achievers training that I provide, or I teach people on how to get things done faster and in a more efficient way, and at a very high level of performance, so that they can always and be at a higher level of performance and sustain and be there, so that they keep their performance at a high level and just not like peak performance which goes up and comes down like that. And finally, these are the tasks that are not urgent and not important, like trivia, or browsing the internet, or chatting with your buddy, long time buddy on phone. These are not important for your business, for your progress, for your goals, and these are also not important. I am not saying that, and don't classify your family time, or time that you are going to spend with children, or your non-profit, or the work that you do for causes into this section, because that's not what it is. These are all tasks that you do in your business activities, in your productivity activities, so to say. These are the different tasks that can be classified as not urgent and not important. Imagine that your day is a glass jar of this big. Everybody has got 24 hours in a day, and imagine that you have got a glass jar that can represent your 24-hour day, and now you need to fill your glass jar in terms of priorities. And you can imagine the priorities as, for example, urgent and important tasks as rocks, the big ones, because these are important, these are urgent, it needs to be handled quickly, and important but not urgent tasks as pebbles, smaller stones, pebbles, small pebbles, and urgent but not important tasks as sand, and finally not urgent and not important tasks as water. So if you have to fill in your 24-hour day jar with these 4 different kinds of material, what would you do? Would you put rocks, pebbles, sand, and water? And imagine that your jar is this. This is your 24 hours. Everybody gets the same big 24-hour jar as everybody else, right? Everybody on this planet has 24 hours. They have got their own jars to fill in. So what would you do first? First, you need to fill your jar with the big rocks, so that all your important tasks get filled in first. Because if you fill in water or sand or pebbles, let's say imagine that these urgent but not important tasks will take much of your time, and you fill in your 24-hour time with sand to the brim. Nothing else can go in except maybe some little water here. Not the pebbles, not the rocks can go inside your jar, and your jar remains filled with urgent but not important tasks and will not help you accomplish your goals anytime. Like, let's see, let's get back to it. First, you need to fill in your 24-hour jar with rocks, so that your urgent and important tasks are done, are taken care of, are prioritized. And then comes the small pebbles, because when you put in the small pebbles, this can easily get in between these tasks, in between the rocks, right? If you just shake your jar, the small pebbles can just make way and in between. That means you can, when you are doing the urgent and important tasks, you can also take care of the important but not urgent tasks in the middle, like during the breaks, or during that few minutes in between these 2 important tasks. You can also handle these small tasks which are important but they may not be urgent. And then if you still have any room left, you can fill in the urgent but not important task in the form of sand, Okay, I don't know how you can imagine this as, but just imagine, just play along with me. And finally, if you still have any room left, you can always fill in water. so that you've taken care of all your tasks, all your urgent, important but not urgent, urgent but not important tasks, and then if you still have time left, you can also indulge. This is what we call in our Super Achievers training, indulge yourself in trivia and browsing and all of the things that make up for the rest of your 24 hours. Of course, I also told you that I am going to tell you about the 3 Ds, which are so important for our super achievers. This is directly from our Super Achievers training program, which I do regularly. It's a one-day, full-day training program, which where I personally teach people on how to achieve higher performances and be there on a day-to-day basis, every day. And my promise is that if you follow the principles that I teach and you experience during your one-day Super Achievers training program, I assure you that your productivity will increase, your performance will increase by at least 30%. And many people have reported, many of my students have reported an increase in productivity and performance by multiple times, like 1.5 times, twice, thrice sometimes, because they didn't know all these principles, and now when they are exposed to all these principles, they can easily stretch their time and work less and accomplish more, because they have got more time. Now they know how to manage the time, and it's not just about managing time in Super Achievers Academy, it's also about managing your psychology, your physiology, and there are several other important concepts and questions and ways and tricks and techniques and strategies that you can employ each and every day to improve your performance and achieve at a higher level of performance and stay there, sustain there, and increase your productivity, efficiency by many times over. Okay, the 3 Ds, if you're having a list of tasks every day, most people work on to-do lists, which is a very good way to manage their tasks and time, by the way. In your to-do list, for every task, you can apply the 3D principle, which I'm going to explain now. 3D is number 1, the first D is do it. Take a task, when you think you are the best one to do it, you are the most competent person to do the tasks, and you cannot possibly think anyone else can do the task that has to be done on your list, you go ahead and do it. Then second option is delegate. The second option is delegate the task. If you think the task on hand can be delegated, for example, typing a letter or sending an email or preparing a report, for example, or doing some graphics or doing a website, whatever it is that is on your list today, if you can find someone to do that task better than yourself, by all means go ahead and delegate the task, because you are going to free up that much time for you to focus on your what? Urgent and important tasks. And the number 3, the third option in the 3D is, the third D is, any guesses? You do this all the time, especially with your inbox, which is a good thing, by the way. Delete it. Delete it. If you don't think you need to do it, if you don't think you can delegate it, then the best option is to delete it. Eliminate the task from your list and go ahead with the next important task. So these are some of the strategies that we regularly teach at our Super Achievers Academy training programs, and I hope to see you in one of my training programs or another video or a seminar or a conference, online or offline, on a website perhaps. So follow this principle, follow this matrix, make a list of your tasks, divide this list into, or put your task into these 4 different quadrants, and take care of your task, accomplish more, be a super achiever. Until then, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get out the best things in life.